Morning, Nigel. Let's get a word firstly on George Maris. He came off on Saturday at Leyton Orient with a whack to the temple.
Yeah, he's trained okay, which is a relief. It was just literally on his eye here, which meant that his eye was closing and impairing his vision. But nothing serious, so he's trained, and big relief. We've got through training without an injury this morning. The only one who didn't train, a couple didn't train actually. Ollie Hawkins just back was stiff after Saturday. All had in all those balls he headed, I think. And Ollie Clark, who got a whack on the nose, has just gone to see somebody who might have a break in there. It might need resetting, but hopefully he'll be right for Saturday.
Hawkins, will he be okay as well?
Yeah, he should be fine. Yeah, just precautionary that he didn't train, but yeah, he should be fine. So hopefully, if nothing happens in training tomorrow, it'll just be the 7 missing.
Ryan Stirk, you said after Saturday's match that he would be out for a few weeks with that twisted ankle. Is there any more specific timescale?
Yeah, we've had slightly differing diagnosis for him. We sort of, hopefully it's 3 or 4 weeks, and then had a more pessimistic one of longer than that. But he's in a boot at the moment. He's back in Birmingham having treatment, and we hope it's the sort of lower end of the scale.
And Callum Gordon, still a couple of weeks?
Yeah, he's seeing a specialist this morning. Tom the physio's not in actually. He's got 3 of them off seeing a specialist this morning. So we'll know a bit more after that. But his knee just flared up after the Rochdale game. So we'll know a bit more later in the week.
In terms of players, you are really now down to the bare bones. Not sure at this moment in time if you could fill the subs bench with the registered players you've got. You might be able to tell me more. Are you looking now to the under-18s to perhaps promote some of them?
Well, yeah, we've got the first year pros. George Cooper travelled with us on Saturday and was 19th man. So if anything had happened, illness or an injury in the warm-up, then he would have gone on the bench. And it's most likely that he'll be on the bench on Saturday.
And what about others?
What others?
Other under-18s perhaps?
The other under-18s, yeah. Well, we've got a couple out on loan at the moment. Nathan Kane's gone out on loan. Ethan Hill, and they're the 3 first-year pros. We've got James Gale, who's just signed a couple of weeks ago. So we've got a couple of options. More likely they'll be involved against Sheffield Wednesday maybe next Tuesday.
I know you mentioned this a couple of weeks back. You said there was nobody really available in the free transfer market at this moment in time. Has that changed at all?
No, there's 1 or 2 names that we've under discussion at the moment, but we'll be probably chatting for more further in the week about that. But it depends on the news we get about Kellen and about Ryan Stirk and how long they're going to be out.
Let's speak about the last match. A fine performance down in East London. 0-0 against high-flying Leyton Orient. Defensively, was that more like the Mansfield at the start of the season?
Yeah, definitely. First clean sheet. The one thing that stuck out was how hard they had to work for their chances, which hasn't been the case in every game this season. When you look at the goals we gave away in the Walsall game and a few games at home, we conceded far too many and too easily. There's certain goals you can't do anything about. And Orient had a couple of situations and chances on Saturday, but we defended them brilliantly and we deserved our clean sheet. When you think we played, almost 20 minutes, 20% of the game with 10 men as well, it was even more impressive. But that's the sort of attitude that we need to have going into games. Let's keep that clean sheet. And then we know we can play our football on top. We had enough situations to get a goal on Saturday.
And I suppose defensively, heading into the game, you were pretty limited as to what you could do. I think the only real plausible alternative was to perhaps keep Hewitt and Mawson at centre-half and perhaps bring James Clark in at right full-back.
Yeah, and that was one possibility for us, and the other one was for Stephen McLaughlin to go centre-half and Ryan Burke to come in. But Ollie Hawkins has been battling away up front. He's done centre-half before, and because of the size of their centre-forward, we thought they'd be the best suited to go back there, and he did exceptionally well, as all the back four and the goalkeeper did. It was interesting that the centre forward kept away from it, pulled off onto Faz a lot of the time, and Ollie didn't have that much to do in terms of direct stuff apart from when it came in the box.
I suppose one of the main jobs on Saturday was to keep Harry Smith quiet because he was in prolific form, and he did just that. He had a very quiet afternoon.
Yeah, they've got threats mainly all over the pitch, and when they break, they score a lot of goals on the break from our set plays. So we had to be careful of that. We still got caught once or twice, but we were conscious of that. And it was nice that I thought from open play they didn't carve us open. Any opportunities and situations they got were from long balls into the box that were cleared and there's dropped for them and things like that. I don't think there was any clear-cut chances from open play, and just sort of where they were passing through. I thought we were well organised.
Was there some hesitancy putting Ollie Hawkins back there because he's been so good up front this season?
That's it. That was the only reason, and we've sort of could have done it a week or so ago. We have discussed it, it's been on our minds, but we just thought this was the right time to do it. Whether we continue it at home on Saturday is a different matter.
How do you get the balance now ahead of the match on Saturday home to Barrow, back at the one call?
That's exactly what we're looking to do. We're looking for that sort of defensive determination and resilience, and then go and play our football on top. That's exactly. I think when you lose the 4 games, then you strip everything back and you say, right, we can't lose. Having gone 1-0 down and made a mistake against Rochdale, we got the point. We've got a great point on Saturday, and now we've got to take it on. It's laid the platform for us now, and now we've got to take it on and get some wins.
Did the defensive display in particular on Saturday give you, as manager, renewed belief that your players can defend?
Yeah, we know they can, because the goals we've conceded have been from isolated incidents, and generally. I think there was a stat a week or so ago, we conceded the most goals from the least number of chances created by the opposition, so they were putting them away, we were defending all right, we were just making too many silly mistakes. And the Rochdale one with Kellen summed it up as well, as did the Warsaw game. So we just have to individually and then as a group improve on those sorts of things. But it happens all the way through football, top levels. I always have a listen, the Premier League at the weekend and stuff, and you look at Spurs won the first 3 games, and then looked a shadow of the former selves in the first half against Arsenal. And I was fascinated by the Chelsea manager's comment, European champions, unbeaten, only conceded 1 goal. And he said they didn't have the belief on Saturday. Well, we know our confidence is fragile with our sort of players, but I think it's all the way through football.
Barrow on Saturday then, managed by Mark Cooper, who previously had really got his Forest Green Rovers team into good shape. They played some lovely football under Mark Cooper at the new lawn. Has he endeavoured to implement that style very early on at Barrow from what you've seen? Yeah,
we've seen them 2 or 3 times recently, and I think it's starting to show through. I think when you have such a long period as he did at Forest Green and did so well, then you can see that, especially in the last few seasons. He's only been there 2-3 months. So give him some time and it will really shine through. But I thought it was a brilliant appointment for them. And it's going to be an unbelievably tough game. They won down on the weekend. I think Friday night did the play and came back and won 2-1. So they're going to be full of confidence.
What are they like from what you've seen, added to what you've said?
Similar to sort of shape too. Rochdale played sort of play 3 centre halves and then 4 and then sort of 3 forwards, either 2 up and 1 behind or 1 up and 2 behind. So they drop into little pockets and holes and cause you problems.
Pleased to be back at home because that's where the majority of the points have been amassed.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a big one last week against Rochdale, not losing, having lost the 2 previous games. Even just to get a point, we want to win our home games, but in the circumstances to get a point was good. Now we followed it up with 1 on the road and a clean sheet. We want 3 points and a clean sheet on Saturday if we can.
Thanks, Nigel. John?
That covers Saturday's game. We just want to kind of promote the Sheffield Wednesday game in this week's paper as well. One that you could probably do without at the moment, considering what squad you're going to have available.
Yeah, well, everybody will obviously have a game who won't feature on Saturday or won't start on Saturday. So, it's like of James Clark and Keaton Ward, Ryan Burke and George Cooper will play. And of course, the 2 that can play, Stephen Quinn and Tyrese Sinclair. So they'll certainly be playing 90 minutes.
Great opportunity, though, for 1 or 2 youngsters to show what they can do on that sort of platform.
Definitely. It's funny because in the Harrogate game in the FL Trophy, we were disappointed with the way we played in some of the youngsters, and they were disappointed with the performance. They'll get another opportunity now. Jason Law's played ever so well in the friendlies we've had, sort of against Sheffield Wednesday here and at Forest the other week. He needs to now start showing it in first team games.
With Sheffield Wednesday having sold over 1,600 tickets for it, you should have a bit of an atmosphere and sound like a real game.
I didn't know that. That's absolutely brilliant. I know we've moved the kick-off forward to help them with the train times and everything, getting back to Sheffield, which is great. So yeah, I hope we can get a few in as well. But that'll depend on Saturday. If we get a good result on Saturday, it takes everybody into Tuesday night in good heart.
Lovely.